What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Therapy, where I, Chase Lee, talk to you as my audience, the therapist, about a movie that I've seen, and let's just have a genuine conversation about it. And who knows, maybe if I'm on the fence about something, maybe I can, come to a conclusion, or just, I don't know what's going to happen, I just want to talk about it. So, the movie that I saw and want to talk about is Emergency. Now, this one is actually playing in select theaters right now, and will be on Amazon Prime next Friday, May 27th, if you want to check this one out, regardless of what I'm about to say. So what is this movie about? Ready for a night of legendary partying, three college students must weigh the pros and cons of calling the police when faced with an unexpected situation. So going into this, I actually had no clue what this was. I read the synopsis. I didn't even want to see a trailer. I just wanted to go into it blind and just be surprised for myself. But from the plot description, it sounded like a coming-of-age film with some college kids that get into a situation where they gotta figure it out what's going on. It could be funny, it could be dramatic. I have no clue. I wanted to take a chance on it because I recognized one of the actors' names, R.J. Seiler, who I've been a huge fan of since Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl, and of course I liked the Power Rangers movie as well. He was also in that. So I was like, cool. I recognize someone. Don't recognize any of the other names, but also great because then I could be exposed to a whole new group of talent, and I love doing that. I like this movie. I thought it was a bit rough at first when it came to like the humor and just kind of really establishing the story, but man, once it found its footing, it stuck that landing at the end to where I could forgive the way it started, because like the way it started, like some of the humor didn't really work, and I was like, I don't really know about this, but man, once it kind of found its voice and its tone and its rhythm, I was so into it. And then that ending was so powerful. I was like, forget what I just said about the beginning of it. This is a fantastic little film. So if you're into like small little indie films and you know nothing about, jump into this one. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So, let's kind of dive into this. The one thing I really appreciate about this is because I've seen a lot of films really express the anger and the intensity that is police brutality and racial discrimination across this country, across the world. And so, I have seen a lot of movies over the past few years really expressing themselves and just telling their story and their perspective on it, whether it be from white filmmakers, black filmmakers. It's been a fascinating ride to see everyone take a stand against racial discrimination and police brutality and tell it in interesting ways. What I love about this is that at the core of this movie, it's about two friends. It's a friendship movie. But it's wrapped in social commentary. It's wrapped in the racial injustice and police brutality and the things that we see in real life that are really terrifying to witness. And even if you don't experience that, you can empathize with the people that do experience, and you can do something about it. You can stand up against it and really kind of make your voice heard, and so you can empathize with the situation. And so I thought this was a really kind of creative way to tell it because, one, this movie was entertaining. It was funny for the most part. The friendship was genuine. It was sweet. And then once the end of the film happened, it really got to a point where it was so emotionally riveting to see the perspective of our main characters going through a situation with the police. It was just heartbreaking. And seeing it through the performances and the eyes and the body language of the two main actors was really wonderful. It was really powerful stuff. So I like the fact that this film is a coming-of-age film. It is a raunchy comedy, but it's also a film that has a lot to say about social commentary with police brutality and racial injustice. I thought it was really effective that way, and it was so unique and so different than what I have seen over the past few years with this subject matter I thought this was an interesting way to tell it. And so what I was saying beforehand at the beginning with how it felt a little rocky at first, like I said, some of the humor and some of the kind of raunchiness of it, I thought it felt a little too forced. But I think once I kind of got into the rhythm of the characters, and I think honestly once the unexpected situation happens and they have to call the cops, that's when the movie really kicks into high gear for me. So I could watch it again and have a different viewpoint on that, but that's honestly my only gripe, is that it took a bit to find its way. But once it did, it was something, man. It was really special. And so that's my only complaint. Super nitpicky, but yeah, I really like what director Kerry Williams did and writer K.D. Davila. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I just like the fact that they made a super bad type of film, but have something more powerful to say beyond friendship. Even though the friendship stuff is really relatable, it's heartbreaking. It's real. It feels just raw in the moment. And like when you watch these two friends at the very end, like express like their emotions to each other and like their fears and their desires, like there was something about that just felt so genuine to me, because a lot of us go through that when we talk to our friends, and I might have shed a tear a little bit just listening to their conversation, and then having the other stuff kind of wrap around it with our two main characters who are young black men go through this situation with the cops. It was gut wrenching, and I like I said, I didn't know if that was gonna work, mixing like kind of the raunchiness of the comedy like with more serious subject matter, but I thought they did it in spades, and it totally crushed the landing of this. And the final shot was a really great, just kind of like, oh wow, this is something that's going to affect them for the rest of their lives. And it sticks with you. It's one of those endings where you're like, wow, that was, woo, that was some, that was insane, like intense. Yeah, I really enjoyed the ending of the film, but the performances, all great. R.J. Cyler, I mentioned before. I've been following that man since, like I said, Me, Earl, and Dying Girl, and then of course he was in Power Rangers. That was his first kind of like big-ish role, and I really wish people would notice him more, because I think he's a super talented individual. This was my first introduction to Donald Elise Watkins. He's the other friend. Wow. He needs to be in more. And if he isn't more, then I'm dumb and I haven't been paying attention. But he was absolutely outstanding. I really felt for the guy. And his friendship with R.J. Cyler's character, really wonderful stuff. Because they were complete opposites in terms of personalities, lifestyles, education, all that stuff, because Donald Elise Watkins wanted to go to Princeton, and R.J. Cyler's character didn't really know what he wanted to do beyond the current education he has. And so, but for some reason, they just worked together, and they understood that, but they were also kind of facing real life situations, and really kind of just navigating life together, leaning on each other's support. And I thought that was wonderful. And Sebastian Cochan, I probably mispronounced that. I apologize. He plays Carlos. He plays the third friend. He kind of reminded me of Dave Franco a bit, and like Dave Franco and like Christopher Mintz-Plasse when I saw him in Superbad for the first time. That kid's also a breakout star. All three of them are wonderful. I hope to see them again in the future. They really kind of carry the camaraderie of the friendship, the humor of the script, the dramatic stuff, the emotional weight of it. They carry all of it. And so they are able to show us what a true performance is like, going from tone to genre, bouncing back and forth, and really inhabiting their characters. I thought they were absolutely wonderful. So, yeah, I have nothing more to say. This is a crazy little film because when you see it, you're like, oh, this is going to be like a raunchy comedy, but then it takes a turn, then it takes another turn, and then the ending of the film is a complete 180 from where you started. But that is what makes a story great, and that's what makes characters great, and having those emotional arcs that where they start somewhere, they end somewhere else, and they have a different perspective on life after they have dealt with a certain situation. So it's just absolutely wonderful in that regard. So yeah, what did you guys think of Emergency? Please check it out on Amazon Prime if you get a chance. I really enjoyed it. So let me know down below what you thought of it. And thank you for joining me on today's session of Movie Therapy. I had a great time talking about this one. And I really hope this one finds your radar here pretty soon. So that will do it for this episode of Movie Therapy. And tune in next time for the next conversation I will have on whatever movie I want to talk about. I'll see you guys later.